Hi everyone, welcome to another Woollen Wytch video. Today I am out in the shed and I thought it was time to do another podcasty talk to the camera video update thing. So I've tried to get on with quite a lot of things lately, past couple of weeks more than anything. So my day job, as I mentioned in my previous video, did not end up cutting my hours. I am back to pretty much working what I was before. There was some staffing issues. The person that was supposed to be doing almost like a job share with me didn't actually start the job, so I am back to just, you know, standard hours now. I am sort of semi working from home one day a week, but that doesn't actually mean any extra hours really on Woollen Wytch. It just means that I don't have the travel time from Bristol back to Weston, which is sort of nice because that is like an hour with traffic. But yeah, don't have as much time sadly on Woollen Wytch as much as I'd like again, but I'm trying to make a conscious effort to do more just things, whether and more things for me. So I've started a bunch of projects and I'm trying to finish off a bunch of projects as well. So I thought I would, you know, update you, do the whole knitting podcast thing, which has been a while actually, but there we go. The first thing that I've been working on, I've been keeping it in a basket, scrappy things, and I've stabbed the crochet hook directly through it. Let's just take that out. I mentioned this a while ago actually, and it's grown quite a bit. So I've been working on just a standard sort of crochet blanket, bit of mindless crocheting really in the evenings. I think I must have started it a while ago. It's just using plain World of Wool chubs, so they're super chunky merino range, in just a bunch of colours that I had lying around really more than anything, but they're coming out nicely and it is blanket sized. I'm pretty much, like, if I stopped it now it would be a good blanket size, but I've still got a few like half balls of wool left, so I might just continue and then just finish it all up. But it's super cozy, it's really good. The colours I'm actually quite pleased on, considering I wasn't too sure of them to start with, but they turned out quite nicely, to be honest. Yeah, it's been like the perfect project now that the sort of weather has changed and it's now colder in my house, and we've not put the heating back on yet because it's expensive to run electric radiators all the time. So I've been having this on my lap in the evenings and crocheting, and it's been really lovely. So yeah, that's almost finished. I think another week of evenings working on it, and it should be finished, which is yay, nice, another project finished because it's been a while. So I've also started on a Ranunculus. I've never knitted one, and I've got the pattern in my Ravelry, and I thought, well, I'm working through my stash, might as well do a Ranunculus as well. So I am using a couple different skeins from my stash. This one is an old colourway that I used to do on my sort of merino base back when I was doing it. This is Be My Valentine, which is just a nice sort of, there's creamy pinks, there's some reds, there's splotches of greys and purples in there. It's just a nice sort of base tone. And then I'm also using a BiffSugar yarns colourway, in Courage and Kindness. So BiffSugar yarns, and that's the info card that came with it. And this is a colour, so similar sort of colour to mine, sort of creamy pinks and reds, but this has got some gold tones running through it as well. But yeah, I thought they sort of work together. So and I think the pattern calls for like 2 or 3 skeins of fingering weight, or at least that's what I'm using. So I thought that's sort of perfect to try and work through some stash. I have just finished the lacework section on the yoke. I'm not sure on it, to be honest. I decided to go for the smaller neck because I figured it would come out similar to this sort of style, so it sit closer to my neck. But actually I think because of the nature of the pattern and the fact that it's supposed to be sort of a looser and not, so there's more positive ease in the actual design of the jumper, I think I might actually rip it back and go for the sort of looser neckline. So let me just show you where I've got up to. So this is what I've managed to do so far. So it's not a lot, but yeah, I'm just not quite happy with how it sits up so high, which I thought was sort of surprising really, because that's sort of what I wanted originally. But actually I feel like I want this to be like a loose top that you put over a camisole in like summer. So not great for winter knitting, but I thought if anything I can make sure it's finished by summer next year. But yeah, I just think that I might rip it back and do a big wider neckline and then just a bigger slouchier top. I just, sometimes you just get like a vibe from when you're knitting, so I think I might follow the vibe, rip it back and then do a bigger thing, which is a shame. But actually it didn't take me too long to get to this point and to finish off the lacework. I think this took a few days, not long. It's quite nice knitting on bigger needles. So these is knit on a so these have been knit on a 6mm needle using my Chiaogu interchangeables, and obviously fingering weight on a bigger needle means it's quite a relaxed gauge on it. I have not done a gauge swatch, I've done classic me, but I figured because it's supposed to be a slouchy sort of knitwear top anyway, I figured if it's too big then that's fine anyway. So I think I'm gonna rip this back and then redo on the sort of wider neckline and then go from there. But that's something that I've done and I've started working on as well. Yeah, lots of mid projects currently, but I'm enjoying it. It's like I'm getting back into sort of the crafty mode again. It's been nice. I've been like so caught up in trying to do like dyeing and Woollen Wytch and stuff that I've sort of lost my joy in creating, so it's nice to sort of get that back as well. I have recently treated myself to a warping frame for my loom as well, because I wanted to do some more weaving, and last time I warped my loom I did it direct onto the loom and I so nearly threw the loom across the living room. The space that we have in the living room is quite long, so I thought great, means I can get a nice sort of sized scarf out of it. But the place that I needed to clamp the like warping post thing, I don't know what it's called, onto it, just kept sliding off, and yeah, honestly the tension was everywhere. There was tangled bits of yarn. I must have done it 3 times before I'd actually managed to finish warping it. I was so annoyed, and so like, it was probably the wrong time of the month as well, because I was so like crying as I was doing this, which is not ideal. So I bought myself a warping frame so that I could just sit down, warp it straight onto the frame and then go from there, and try and do it in stages rather than all at once. So I have managed to warp it up on the frame. This is the first time I've ever done this. I have no idea what I'm doing, but I have managed to find a few YouTube videos and try to work out what I'm doing. So I've just managed to tie the chokes on there. it is in fingering weight again because I'm just trying to use up stash, and I have a lot of fingering weight yarn stashed, and there is a lot of tiny scrap balls and things, so I figured I would try to just weave them and just put them all onto like warping sticks, whatever you call them, and warping sticks? My brain is gone. I don't know what they're called. Not warping sticks. Are they warping sticks? Don't know. But yeah, so I figured I would try to use up as much of the fingering weight stuff as I got. And luckily quite a lot of it is in similar colour tones, so I thought that would be nice. So I've warped up in a purpley peachy colour. This should be about 15 inches worth on the loom, if I've done my maths correctly. Obviously, again, this is the first time that I have not actually warped direct onto my loom, so we will see what happens. But in the meantime, I've knocked stuff over. In the meantime, I think it's worked fairly well. It seems to look how it's supposed to on the YouTube video, so hopefully it all goes well, but I need to sit down and pay very close attention, so I haven't actually gotten around to warping it onto the loom yet. So we'll see how that goes. Hopefully no crying stuff. I know that it doesn't happen, like, I know the tears happen many times, like very regularly lately, but no crying this time. But yeah, so it's going to be sort of purples and pinks and peaches, and yeah, that's just a lot of the tones that I have. So I've managed to put them on the, I'm going to call them warping sticks. It's probably not correct, but that's what I'm calling them today. So I've got some, so it's a mixture of stashed yarn from my old stuff, along with just some like leftover bits and pieces. I thought rather than doing scrappy socks, I would do like a scrappy scarf maybe, or if it doesn't look alright as a scarf, I thought, well, if anything, it's just like a bolt of fabric that I could try to use and sew into something else. I figured fingering weight would be a good way to go for that. I know it's going to take forever, because fingering weight usually takes forever, but hopefully this is a good thing, and we'll use up lots and lots of my stash, because it's getting ridiculous now. I've taken over like a large portion of the living room with my stuff. I've got a basket upstairs in the bedroom, which was stuff that I inherited from my nan. It's coming out of my ears, so I need to use up the stash, so hence why I'm trying to finish off some of the projects I've got, and try and get some like quick knits in, like the Ranunculus, because that seems to be a quick knit because of the big needles and the small yarn. But yeah, that's most of the stuff that I've been working on lately. I've recently released a Christmas box that I'm doing this year. Pre-orders close for that on the 1st of November, so you've got a week, 2 weeks left of ordering. So in the Christmas box there'll be 2 skeins of yarn. There will be a semi-solid and a variegated sort of speckled colourway. I figured it was good for any projects, anything like a hat or anything like that you could do. You can also top up with extra yarn if you've got a bigger project in mind. I'm gonna put a photo of the inspiration here, but I figured it'd be nice just to get back to doing a nice little Christmas box for people. There'd be the usual things that you find in Christmas boxes, so it'd be like some chocolate and some little gifty items as well as the yarn, so I figured it'd probably be good to mention it on here. I've sold a few boxes now, which is nice, but it'd be nice to hit a target. So I think my target is like 10 boxes. I think I'm about halfway there. So if I could get another 5 boxes, then I hit my target and that'd be great. What else have I been up to? Sub Club is now coming to an end. There's a few more months left for this year's. I will be doing one next year. It won't be as hardline themed, and it will be just yarn only, so there won't be stitch markers, so it'll make it a little bit cheaper on the price point, because I know not everyone wants stitch markers every month. I will still be doing sort of some designs of stitch markers, but it won't be a monthly thing. They do actually take up quite a long time to try and do the designs and stuff, so I'm going to try and give that a break and concentrate more on the yarn, because that's what everyone wants, that's what everyone likes, so I'm going to head towards that way. That's next year. I think that's probably it, to be honest. There's probably a few other things that I am forgetting. I don't generally write notes when I do these sort of chatty to camera videos. I forget, and I think sometimes it's important just to sit down and do the thing, otherwise I get stuck into the planning of things and then not actually doing the thing. Yeah, I've got, like, I had some time today. I was like, right, okay, get out, get the camera, film the thing, just do it, because a lot of the time I try to build up to doing these videos and then I don't actually get around to doing them. Thank you, car that's beeping. But I don't actually get around to doing them, and I leave it months and months and months before I do the next one. So I had time today. I was like, yes, let's get out, let's go do the video. So I hope you guys have enjoyed catching up with me. I know it's not been thrilling to say the least, but I figured it was time just to do a quick update on what was going on and what projects I'm working on, because I think sometimes it's nice to actually share that I don't just do the Woollen Witchy stuff. I am a crafter. I do like doing my own little projects and crafting, and it's been a while since I've actually concentrated on doing those and finding the joy in making again, and I mean making differently from dyeing. I always get sort of the joy of dyeing, but because it's become a business, I've sort of lost my personality in that as well, I think sometimes. So it's been really nice to sit down and do projects again, and share them with you. But yeah, I just want to say thank you very much again for watching the video. Pre-orders for the Christmas cast on box is available until the 1st of November, so if you want to get yourself a box, get yourself a box. But yeah, thank you very much for watching, and I will see you again in the next video.